The mastery weapon grind is exhausting, to say the least. 1,000 kills per weapon doesn't seem like a big deal until you put into perspective every weapon in the game. That's a total of 54,000 kills just to complete the final reward. And that's not even considering the DLC weapons that are going to be added to the game. If I took an educated guess, there's probably going to be 20 to 25 weapons added throughout this next year, which means an extra 25,000 kills. Thankfully, I feel no pressure to rush through this grind. I already have Orion and I can technically play the game however I want. And there's 2 years to complete the weapon mastery grind on all the weapons, and I'm working incrementally. I've only finished 5 weapons, the 3 DLC weapons, and the Bryson 800 and Lockwood 300 shotguns. Since Shoot House plays so weird this year, I don't know if it's the spawns or if they changed the map size, because it does genuinely feel a little bit bigger than Modern Warfare's. I've also heard that Shoot House in Modern Warfare was 5v5 instead of 6v6 like it is now. And I only remember Shipment being 5v5, so I could be completely wrong, but I swear it was 6v6 back then. But hey, maybe I'm wrong and that extra player on Shoot House does cause all the chaos that happens. And with the map not playing how I remember it, I've decided to use the cheese guns in the game. The one-shot shotguns, the marksman rifles, the overpowered SMGs and assault rifles. There's no point in torturing myself to use weaker or lower performing weapons when Shipment comes out in just a few weeks and is going to make everything extremely easy regardless of how good or bad it is. I'm hoping that there's going to be a tier 1 Shipment 24/7 playlist. That way when it comes to battle rifles and the other horrible weapons in the game, the kills are at least easier to get there. And it's not just me wanting Shipment, everyone wants it. Anyone that's doing the Orion grind or even just trying to get gold on their favorite weapons. It's the go-to spot. And I hope this year they don't do a shoot the ship playlist. I don't want to play Shoot House. It's not fun. I mean, it's kind of fun using shotguns and I don't feel any remorse for doing so. I don't want to have to deal with people camping behind cars and holding the weirdest head glitches. I want to run around in a square, a very small square, and die 50 times, but also get 200 kills in the process and just play in complete chaos. I keep trying to convince myself that stick with the mastery weapon grind and get as much done as you can before Shipment, because when Shipment comes out, it's going to be like cutting through butter with a hot knife. I'm going to be able to finish 2, maybe even 3 weapons a day, and I'll be done with this grind in no time. I'm going to have to deal with the Joker and the launchers and melees at some point. I'm hoping Shipment makes it a lot easier. I was looking at my calling cards, and somehow with the Pila and the Joker, I already have the gold calling cards completed and have a little bit of progress through the platinum. I must have been gaming in my sleep because I don't remember making any progress with those 2. When it comes to a grind like this, my philosophy is let's do the hardest stuff first and get them out of the way. That way, you don't have to worry about doing them ever again, and it's smooth sailing from there. Except this time. I said, you know what? I already have Orion. I don't need to sit here and do the launchers day in and day out until I get 1,000 kills with each of them, especially with Shipment coming around the corner. When that map drops, hey, I might put some time aside and work on some of the more boring and lame weapons to use, like the Joker or the battle rifles. I want to have fun. And let me tell you, using shotguns is amazing. I know the stereotype, people who use shotguns have no skill and they're there to just annoy people. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I am purposely annoying people and talking so much trash in post-game lobbies when everyone's complaining about me using a one-shot weapon. It brings a smile to my face with how upset some people get over a gun I decide to use in a game. Now, if anyone else uses a shotgun, that shit's annoying. And knock it off. Only I can use the shotgun. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. You have to use, I don't know, the F-TAC Recon. Sometimes I do feel guilty when I drop 50, 60 kills in a domination game on Shoot House and everyone's trying to work on their camos, because I've been there. I've been trying to get gold on some of the dumbest weapons in the game while getting one shot by shotguns in the SPR. It sucks and it's annoying, but I feel like to some extent I've deserved to use whatever I want, and I'm not just using a shotgun for the sake of using a shotgun. I'm trying to complete the mastery challenge and never use it ever again. Okay, maybe I might use it sometimes just to have a little bit of fun, but I'm never gonna go seek out using a shotgun because it's my go-to weapon. That's kind of boring and extremely lame. Dare I say it, even though this grind is super tedious, it's really fun, especially when you're using strong weapons. And who would have thought using something that performs well being enjoyable? What an idea. The contrast now between when I'm doing the Joker is going to be crazy, because I know I'm going to want to jump off several bridges and meet my maker, because that thing is going to be so frustrating getting 1,000 kills. I'd like to speak to the manager, because I would much rather get 1,000 destructions with that thing rather than getting 1,000 kills. That's a great idea, whoever thought about that. I hope you get a pay raise and maybe a promotion. Let's just make them the CEO of Infinity Ward, honestly. Going back to Shoot House, and this could be a very good reason to why not a lot of people enjoy the map this year. Let's look back to Modern Warfare. The maps on that game were mostly hated by a majority of the player base. This year, a lot of the maps are really good, so we don't have that contrast of playing Piccadilly and then going to Shoot House. I can't even think of an MW2 map name, so insert map name here and then going to play Shoot House. This year we have good maps, and going from a good map to honestly what I would say is a decent map. I wouldn't even consider Shoot House good. I think a lot of people just think it's good because you either had that or Piccadilly. It's also two different games that play, what do you know, differently. Crazy concept. And that could make the comparison between the two seem so drastically different, even though on paper it's the same map. Overall, grind's not too bad anymore now that I'm warming up to it. And also, it's become a lot more enjoyable since I'm not forcing myself to get 8 trillion kills a day. Getting just halfway through a gun a day is honestly working quite well for me. It gives me time to play DMZ and Warzone, except every time I play on Al-Mazrah I crash, so that's a really cool feature. I haven't been able to get halfway through a Warzone match or halfway to exfilling without my game and computer just lighting on fire and blowing up. Which sucks, because DMZ has been a lot of fun for me, and I haven't talked too much about those secondary game modes yet, because I want to go in depth and make new videos on them. But it's super hard to make a video when I can only get 2 or 3 minutes of gameplay before I get a dev error. So for now, I'm just stuck grinding and playing multiplayer. And I say that like it's a bad thing when honestly I'm having a lot of fun with the game. This is by far the best Call of Duty I've played in a long time. I also got a double MGB with the Bryson 800. It took me forever to get a single MGB with the shotgun because I kept dying to, what do you know, every gun under the sun that has a little bit of range. And the first game I get an MGB with the Bryson, I end up getting a double MGB. That's the video. The mastery grind is fun. Bye.